What a wide variety of jerseys on the screen right now.
And yet they really haven't had a wide variety in their history.
Not really, but like there it is.
Yeah.
They're there. This is what happens when you take a shoulder patch and put it on a primary logo.
I feel like this is from a PSA from the 90s about pool safety. Next on Ugly Thirds.
Or not.
Someday.
Phil, hit the button.
Welcome back, sports fans, to another episode of Ugly Thirds. Today's topic is the Florida Panthers seeding stripes. John and Shrimp, take it away.
I feel like the tone needed to change, so where he's like, not welcome back, like, please, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you.
Yeah, I always wondered why people would leave in crap cuts in YouTube. And then I'm like, no, it's amusing.
Because
So
comedy is
that's
everything.
as close as we get to being funny.
I think this is going to be very difficult.
I picked this deliberately to be very difficult for you.
Which I understand why now, because I was so adamant about it earlier.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so what is this? What is this piece of siding? Practical effects. Practical effects for the win. We wanted to say like who was the best look in the NHL currently, like what actually like, and we like a bracket to solve what's the best look in the league.
Yeah.
But how do we got into a whole argument of like how do you pick who plays who in that bracket, like an actual like head to head challenge. So we figured we have to seed them all.
In a piece of siding.
Absolutely.
Because you mark my words, this timestamp this moment, Phil, on the computer. Timestamp this. You're gonna start seeing influencers, like high level influencers, with siding on their setups.
Just wait.
Did you timestamp it?
Yes.
Thank you.
So we get to put these cards in here where along it belongs. We're going to do the East Conference and the West Conference because that'll make our bracket easier to set up. Well, East versus West. And so we're looking at all the current looks in the NHL. And now we're on Florida. And Trems has been a huge fan of Florida. Ominous thunder rolls.
Very appropriate for this episode. I love this because
look at the sun.
The look that they have, and this has been a good debate in the comments on a lot of our videos that have Florida jerseys. People say it's very soccer.
Oh,
it
is a soccer crest.
I do get that. That shield is not one that we see a lot of in hockey jerseys.
No, you know what is amusing though, that when this came out and some people were making fun of the shields and like, oh, everyone has a shield. So someone actually did everyone with a shield, like every single logo. It's part of the logo in there, and then like the name on top. And you know what ironically looked the best? I argue even better than the Florida Panthers. Tampa Bay, because it said Tampa Bay and it had a lightning bolt, and it was just like,
oh yeah,
that's brilliant. But you can't.
No, you can't.
You can't.
What
do you your
That's my white, right?
Yes, they're both yours.
Okay. The crests are different height.
I think that's the cut of the jersey and probably just where it is
like,
on the.
Look at the gap between the crest and the strings on the 60, and the crest.
He's right.
And it's a big difference.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, like not even like.
You even look where. So this gold stripe goes right to the corner there. The gold stripe is way lower there.
This is screen printed. There's texture.
Well, it's Fanatics versus Adidas.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
Why it's Fanatics versus Adidas.
It just looked even better because that's an XL. That's a 60.
Yeah, this is a huge one.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a regal look for hockey in South Florida. I mean, they've cemented themselves as Stanley Cup champions now.
So, well, yeah, which upsets me to no
That's
end.
fine. But they did it in a look that was clean, simple. It wasn't gimmicky. We've gone from this to a regal Panther, which a lot of people are upset by. People love this look.
I wanted to say that I love all the details about these jerseys, but I'm already starting to question my logic on that.
Okay.
And part of it is because I'm looking at from an angle. Like it was getting all angled on camera, and I wanted to try to straighten. Now I'm looking at it at an angle, and I always love the raised parts of Adidas crest. Like that's one of the things I think they've done the best. This might be the worst execution of the raised parts on the crest.
Are you saying that it's the
ridges?
So what's raised on here?
The ruffles have ridges.
So
Phil, jersey cam.
If everybody wants to reach out and run their finger across the screen that they're watching this on,
That'd be fun on this.
And I'll guide you through this. No, so what's raised here is the outer outline here
on the top
of the panther, and a little bit towards the back ear here. And the only other thing is these 3 whiskers right here,
and the whiskers just disappear after that. So
yeah,
that's interesting.
It's difficult to see.
But like this, especially around here on the nose, just looks really strange from an angle.
From this angle, it's kind of goofy looking.
Yeah, like it might be the actually like okay up here, Florida is raised, all the letters are raised. I like that. That's a good use. And then the ear, like the back side of the ear doesn't make sense. Like that might be the worst execution of that feature. The eyebrow, like this section, good. That's very good. I don't mind the whiskers, but like the rest of it, not a fan. Now, I do like a lot of details in this. The most obvious one, and the one we love to parrot at home, they're Panthers because you know you're in Florida.
Yep.
On the road, it says Florida because where are they from? And the sleeve stripes, Florida Panthers.
Yep.
Like that's a brilliant thing.
Yeah, it's a nice little touch.
It's the Florida state flag, except they changed the middle to the sun, which is an homage from your shoulder patch.
Yep. And
the state seal on that is a mess. You're looking go ahead. Google Florida's flag. It's a mess in the middle. It might as well be an oil painting. The X here is also for the Florida flag, and of course they just inverted it. Not that it makes as much sense.
Yep. The little details.
Details are spectacular.
What was unique and done only by, I think, Buffalo up to that point was that their captain's patches and their alternates were on the shoulder, right? Well, on the sleeve.
You get a letter, but then you also get captain or alternate.
A name bar.
Yes. Yeah. Which, again, good luck finding those. Like, EPS might be able to do
They'll put them on there for you.
A captain is 2 bars.
No, it just captain.
I thought it was 2 and 1.
Well, so the Panthers doesn't change. This stays, but they add a second one that says captain or alternate. So it is 2 bars, but it's not a third bar. But I will say, I don't like the shoulder numbers. And in looking at it, it should have been down here. Like if they're gonna, and I realized they wanted to keep it like
there's a big enough space for it.
Yeah,
I get what you're saying.
And it's not too low. They could have pulled it off. Yeah. Montreal used to do that. I know the owner wanted to look like the 101st Airborne, which is why this logo is what it is. And this is a very military style patch, which honestly I like this. I do. Yeah. And that's also why it's on the sleeve and not the shoulders, because it wanted more military style. But all the way up here is a reach when this is here and empty. And one of my biggest pet peeves is when you have a midriff stripe and then it just disappears.
You're big on continuity.
It makes no, and it just kind of like it just truncates on the side for with no rhyme or reason. I feel if you're gonna have a midriff stripe, it's your job to figure out how to make it work. So if that means that you have blue numbers on the back, because blue is part of this jersey, you put blue numbers, it'll work. Or was it like, oh, it's 2 Montreal? Well, if it's 2 Montreal, maybe you shouldn't be going for that look. You know?
Put your foot down.
I think there's misses there. I don't love the Adidas collar effect. This is probably better, but then this stands out so much and is so low, and that's probably more of an Adidas problem than anything else. What's your issue, Phil? And was I right?
Yeah, you're right.
You want it one more time?
That's all you're getting.
Stand your ground, Phil. It's a strong look.
I like the logo. I don't love the jersey. I like this logo a lot. I don't love the jersey. Like the logo set's great. I'd put it on a different jersey.
So middle upper for you or middle lower?
Honest, like it is like flat middle. Like really? That's where I'm at. Now granted, this is a co-op effort. We are couch co-oping this video game. but I don't think this deserves half the praise it gets. And like it's soccerish, that's fair. That is a fair comment.
I once I saw it, I'm like, yeah, I can't. I could if you took this, made it smaller, and shifted it here, put it on a soccer jersey. Like, yeah,
you
got
don't even
something.
have to change the stripe.
You got
like, that's a
something
soccer
there.
thing.
Yeah.
With
But
bimbo.
but how many people know about the intentions of this jersey being military based? Like, no, nobody. Nobody's looking at the Florida Panthers and being like, oh yeah, unless you are military, and you start noticing those little
Here's the thing.
features.
It's subtle enough that it's not hitting you over the head with military. And I think it does it better than Vegas does with trying to be military, because the Vegas Golden Knights are named for the Golden Knight parachute team that even was a lawsuit because the guy went to West Point, and that's why all the colors are what they are and whatnot.
Yeah.
And they're the Black Knights. And even like Winnipeg, like, why does it have to be a fighter jet? There's a lot of Canadians who are like, do we need to go war? We went to a Canadian military museum. It was mostly UN and like helping people, which
Right.
is well, and then World War One. But what are you gonna do?
You know.
It and that's just it. Like, yes, it's a military reference, but I think it's just also it looks good.
Yeah.
And it's evocative without being this is a military, like, it's not
Without being
smacking you.
camouflage.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, it's not smacking you in the face with it. So I like all of that. I think it's a well balanced thing. Like I said, I think the logo set is superb. I don't love the jerseys. I think like the red and gold just gets to be, and it's not like it. These jerseys are somewhere between Montreal and Calgary, and not in a good way.
Okay.
Now, be my counterpoint.
You've made good points. I was honestly looking at this as my argument, or as this part of the jersey as my argument. Your thought process about color scheme and could it be a little bit better, or what they're doing here, or the lack of continuity, like, it makes sense. Like, I had them up here, but you've talked me down in this direction a little bit here.
I really think it's a mid-pack look. And okay, they've won a cup. They have the press now. People are going to like it. But I don't think that makes them untouchable.
Yeah.
You can win a cup with a bad look. See Washington Capitals.
Mm.
Like, and I'm sure others. Right? It's not like it's bad. Again, I like the logos.
Yeah.
But I don't know that it deserves higher than the middle. It's certainly not getting up that range. And I think when you walked in, you might have thought it was going that range.
Yeah, I was trending here a little bit, but you've made enough good points to where I feel okay. You know.
And look, when we get some of these original 6 teams in here, it's going to move down anyways.
Yeah.
So I think
maybe that'll be our deep seated bracket buster at some point.
It could be
where they're knocking teams off that they got
if
no
there's an
business doing
underdog, it might be this look.
it.
So,
Okay.
all right. Honestly, that was a well thought out episode.
Good.
Well
done.
Phil, you look
well
like you have
done
thoughts.
us.
Do you have thoughts?
No, I was just looking up if there's anything else more about the design of the jersey.
I know there's a 101st Airborne connection.
Well, the owner was in the 101st Airborne, right?
The Battling Bastards of Bastogne. Yeah.
And and the stripe was taken from Montreal.
Oh, okay.
And they said that they said what other baseball teams wear Yankee pinstripes. Montreal's a great franchise with decades of tradition. We don't have their history, but we see ourselves being on the same level in terms of talent and professionalism. And we hope
It's a
they are
bold
flattered
claim.
that we are inspired by that visual element.
Given the number of snowbirds in South Florida from that area, okay. Speaking from experience.
Honestly, I wonder if, okay, move the numbers down and move this stripe down and put it the whole way around the back. I think this goes way higher. I think the chest stripe isn't as good in this look as we want it to be, especially since it's not on the back.
Could there be some type of copyright with going all the way around?
No,
Montreal?
I don't think so. I don't think that's something that's copyrightable. And even then, you're within
Or
you get into some really complicated law of, is it 32 individual businesses or is it one? Because I think the NFL's been hit with antitrust suits of your 32 businesses working together, and they're like, no, we're the NFL. Which, I mean, that case law gets, where's legal on that one?
Yeah.
I get the feeling that if there was something like that, that would all be behind closed doors of like, no, you're not. But else, like, why would they defend the back? The back of a Canadiens jersey is not where you're thinking anything of identifiability, of trademark, of that. That would be the front. And so if they're letting that happen.
Yeah.
That's my not a lawyer thought.
Just enough to
Which might be also why it's white and why this is gold and not blue. Blue would make more sense. Blue's a more common color in their past, obviously. But that might be what, like, no, if you're gonna do it, you're gonna avoid red, white, and blue here. Again, all conjecture. Curious the thoughts in the comments.
Yeah.
There's a lot of food for thought in this
Well,
episode.
I feel like this one's gonna move quite a bit. So
Yeah, it'll move as there's more context around it.
all right.
So with that exhausting episode, he's Shrems. I'm John. Phil, take us out.
Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and ring the bell so you get notifications when we post new videos. And come back for another episode of Ugly Thirds.
Prior to this Stanley Cup, this would have been the most anyone's ever talked about the Florida Panthers.
There's only 22 Florida Panthers left.
On the roster?
Oh God, I meant actual Panthers. No. I feel like I need to explain. Phil, you should come back to me. I should explain myself.